Jai Atmeshwar, Samarpan Yog of the Himalayas, Part 1, Episode 23. A large number of trees called tapioca grow in the jungle. If one of the trees was uprooted, one would find 25 tuber roots weighing around 3 kilograms each under it. These tuber roots could always be stored. When a tree was cut and then again cut into 4 pieces, those 4 pieces were pushed into the ground. 6 inches would be pushed as follows. They would be pushed 6 inches under the ground and 12 inches remained above ground. They would be pushed at a slightly sloping angle and later they would grow into 4 trees. There were a large number of trees and their tuber roots were used for meals. The leaves of these trees were palm-shaped and they were boiled and eaten. I loved the work involved in cutting these trees, then planting the 4 pieces, then collecting the tuber roots and roasting them over the fire and serving them to Gurudev on banana leaves. A bamboo would be cut below the knotted part, and this tuber would be filled in the upper part and then roasted in the fire. The bamboo did not get burned as it was green and tender, but it would get nicely roasted from inside, and the tuber inside the bamboo was mixed with the juice from it. Whilst roasting it, some ginger, bay leaves, and a special pod of a leguminous plant was added to it. After a while, it was taken out of the fire. The bamboo would be slit open and the tapioca from within would be extracted. Sometimes the tapioca would be roasted and eaten, and sometimes we would eat it boiled. This was the main diet there, and it tasted good with bamboo juice. One morning, after completing the fire ceremony and other duties, Gurudev started speaking. Your life is like an Ashwamedh Yajna, that is, a horse sacrifice yajna performed in ancient times by kings. A sacrificial horse would be let loose after the yajna, and the territory he covered without being stopped would belong to the king. If any king caught the horse, it would lead to war with the king who performed the yajna. Your life is like an Ashwamedh Yajna. You have taken birth on earth with the purpose of performing a very sacred and great spiritual work. Your family is very large. I won't get the proximity of this kind of collective family in my lifetime. And after this life, I do not have another birth. That is why I have passed on to you whatever I possess, so that I too can take part in your grand work. Now the time has come for you to go ahead with this work, and because I do not wish to keep you tied down or be a hindrance in the speed of your duties, I am telling you about it. We have stayed together for a very short time, but we have done it to take this sacred spiritual work forward. Always remember, thoughts are unnatural. We move away from nature because of our thoughts, and thoughts come to an end in the proximity of nature. The more we stay in the proximity of nature, the more we stay in the presence of Paramatma. People spread pollution in the atmosphere by thinking too much, and due to this thought pollution, the atmosphere starts getting hot and becomes polluted. This hot, polluted atmosphere is the biggest danger to the new world because it will become difficult even to breathe in this atmosphere. Always keep your chitta inside because all knowledge is within yourself. Living knowledge can never be written in books. That can only keep flowing through experiences. The work of spreading the living knowledge always happens like this, from one guru to one disciple, and from one disciple to another disciple. It always happens in this traditional manner. This is divine knowledge which cannot be written down because the person who receives the spiritual experience is not in a position to write at all. When he is in the state of receiving the spiritual experiences, he cannot even open his eyes, let alone write about it. Actually, writing and speaking are physical acts. When the process of divine living knowledge happens, all physical activities stop at that point and come to an end. So how will the act of writing be possible? That is why one's experience of Paramatma has not been written down until today. But these spiritual experiences will be written down in your lifetime, and you will write about all this because your capacity of giving is much more than your capacity of receiving. You always think about giving, and because of this limitless desire to keep giving, you will become a medium for spiritual experiences, and Paramatma will get this work of giving experiences done through you. I do not know how he will get it done, but this work will definitely take place. Your ability to acquire it is inevitable because of your capacity to give. And because of your capacity to give, several gurus have chose you as a medium. You will become a suitable and appropriate pure medium because you do not have any identity of your own. It becomes very easy to make someone who does not have any identity a medium. It is easy because the flow of energy starts to quickly flow through him so that he can pass it on as fast as possible. The purpose of knowledge is to spread that knowledge. Your purpose of getting living knowledge is to spread the living knowledge, and for that very reason, everyone is handing over their knowledge of spiritual experiences to you. My dear, No one pours oil into a broken earthen lamp. Oil is always poured into the lamp which is ready to burn and which is suitable to accept the oil. The container of your lamp is huge. It can hold a lot of oil. I believe that it is my good fortune that I had the chance to pour oil into your container in my life, because the darkness of ignorance in this world is going to be removed by the illumination of your lamp. You have to leave here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, I will come with you as far as the river. There, you will make a boat out of bamboos and begin your journey. This same river meets the river Brahmaputra ahead. The bank of Brahmaputra will now be the area for your next spiritual practice. Just as you are going to move from a small river to a large river, I too am a small river in the river of knowledge. Now, I am sending you to an even bigger river, and I have been preparing you in order to send you to that Guru. That Guru lives on the bank of the river Brahmaputra, and you have to go to him next. When I woke up the next morning, I wondered why Paramatma sends me to such beautiful places where I cannot stay very long. I became very sad and emotional. I had become attached to the ashram in a very short time. I told Gurudev, I have become very attached to your ashram. I like staying here and I do not want to leave this place. My state is also similar. I have also begun to love you in this short period of time. I have also become attached to you. I have been greatly influenced by your humility and your desire to distribute knowledge. But Guru Karya is greater than our feelings. The Gurus have entrusted you to me with the faith that you will spread this knowledge and convey it to each and every human being. Finally, regarding the ashram, I give you my blessings that you will have a large and grand ashram from where millions of souls will absorb knowledge. Come, let us go. I have to leave you near the river and then return. And I, who was tied to my Guru work, started off with a heavy heart. Later, after walking for a while, we reached the river which was flowing down the hill. There, Gurudev had already prepared a boat with 4 layers of bamboos and made it ready. What a boat it was! It was just like a wall made out of 4 layers of bamboo which had to be put in the water and then one had to sit on it. It kept on moving. I had seen ordinary tribal people using this kind of boat. I told Gurudev, I do not know how to make this boat float. and I do not even know where I have to go." He laughed and said, "You just get into the boat without worrying. At your next location, there is a great sage. His subtle body will guide you properly to his place, because he has sent for you. Even now, he is with you. I can see it, but you cannot, and that is the difference between us." Gurudev wished me a very emotional farewell. I bowed and touched his feet, and he happily blessed me. "May you be successful." Then he gave me some fruits and made me sit on that raft-like boat, and gave me a long bamboo to help me move the raft in case it got stuck somewhere. Thus, he wished me farewell, and I started out on the unknown journey. When I looked back, I saw that Gurudev was climbing the hill. I was moving forward, the water was flowing slowly, and so the raft began to move ahead slowly. I was going to an unknown place. I did not know where. This was my first journey on this kind of a boat. The entire boat was made of bamboo. There was a vertical bamboo, and over that a horizontal bamboo. Then again a vertical bamboo and another horizontal bamboo. In this way, there were 4 layers, one above the other, and there was a square-shaped wall-like base that was 12 feet wide and 12 feet long and about 1 foot broad. All these bamboos had been tied together by ropes made out of bamboo skin. They had been tied very tightly. The flow of water was good in the river, and so there was no question of the boat getting stuck anywhere. I had fastened the bamboo oar and was sitting at ease. The boat was moving easily with the flow of the river. Soon it would be evening, and my boat was slowly moving in the middle of the river. The sun was setting, and the rays of the sun were reflected in the water. There was a thick forest on either side, and I had not seen any habitation so far. I passed grove after grove of banana trees. Night had almost fallen, and I lay down on the raft-like boat and thought that I would decide about what had to be done at the right time. Gurudev has said that Gurudev himself is present with me in his subtle form. So why should I worry about what will happen? And in that state, I fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, I found that the boat had slowed down and was moving at a greatly reduced speed. Gurudev had given me 2 bamboos, which I had tied and put on one side. I had some fruits and my shoulder bag, which I had also tied securely. I went to the edge of the raft and washed my hands and face and drank some water and felt very happy. The scenery was still the same. There were jungles in the surrounding hills, but there was no sign of any humans. Thus, my journey continued. In the afternoon, I found fish with varied colors moving around the boat fearlessly. The water was not very deep here, and so the speed of the boat had reduced. But the water was so clear that the fish that could be seen swimming under the water and stones of various shapes and colors also looked very beautiful. But now the afternoon heat was burning me up. Yesterday there were clouds, so I had not really felt it much. But today it was very sunny. Today the sun was very bright, and I felt that this is what people call life, which changes like the sun and shadow. Man should learn to live under both circumstances. I had been traveling alone since yesterday, and I don't know why, but I never felt as if I was alone. I felt as if Gurudev was always traveling with me and saying, "Hey, every soul comes alone into this world and travels alone in the same way. The soul always travels alone and never with someone else. What goes along with it is the physical body. All these are experiences of the body. All these are relationships of the body, and the body is perishable. That is why the relationships of this body are also perishable. Sometimes new relationships are formed, and sometimes old relationships end. Several old relatives leave you and move on, and several new relatives enter your life. All relationships continue to move in life, which is like an inn. The relationships that are formed through one's body are perishable like the body. All relationships of human beings do not last. There is only one everlasting relationship of the soul, and that is the relationship with Paramatma, because the soul has been created through Paramatma. Paramatma is the Sadguru of one's soul, who has created the soul. Sadguru is the mother who gives birth to the soul. This relationship between the soul and the Sadguru lasts birth after birth. This relationship is everlasting because the birth of a soul is not possible without a Sadguru. Therefore, a lot of importance is placed on this relationship in life, and such an everlasting relationship is now present with you. So what difference does it make whether someone is with you or not with you? I did not realize that the afternoon had passed while I was immersed in these thoughts. I had not seen any other boat or any other village or anything at all throughout the day, and the boat was moving forward. Then again it was evening. Today I saw the sunset taking place behind the hills, between two hillocks. That was a very attractive scene where the sun was slowly setting between these two hills. Now I could easily look towards the sun. I prayed and bowed before the sun god and suddenly remembered how I used to sit with Gurudev on top of the hill and watch the sunset. For quite some time after sunset, the redness remained spread out in the sky, which created a red glow everywhere. And then again, night fell slowly. Jayatmeshwar. We'll conclude our book reading for today over here. Thank you for listening.